Hello, guys, and welcome to today's episode. The question we're asking ourselves is, what is the Azure Portal? What is this all about? The Azure Portal is a web-based unified console that provides an alternative to command line tools. With Azure Portal, you can manage your Azure subscription using a graphical user interface. As you can see here, your portal is found at portal.azure.com. So the URL you have to type is portal.azure.com. Okay. Over here, you can build, manage, and monitor everything from simple web apps to very complex cloud deployments in the portal. The Azure portal has been designed for resiliency and continuous availability. It has a presence in every Azure data center. This configuration therefore makes the Azure portal resilient to individual data center faults and failures and avoids network slowdowns by being close to users. Now, I'm in the United Kingdom right now and I've typed portal.azure.com. Because of my geographical location, it will hit Azure data centers closest to me. I'm very close to UK South, so it's likely that my portal.azure.com is hosted on services in the data centers located very close to me. So that means latency is faster and not delayed. I can get to this Azure portal very quickly because what is serving it is very close to me. Okay. The Azure portal also updates continuously and requires no downtime. So there will never be a time where Microsoft will tell you that the portal is down for upgrades or updates. It doesn't happen. Let's have a quick look at the portal menu. Over here on the left hand side, you see the portal menu. Now we have two modes. We have the docked mode, which is my preferred mode, where you would always see all these items in this menu pane, or we have something called the flyout mode. Now, to activate the flyout mode, you will head over here. Let me circle that for a second. This cog icon here. And when you click into it, you will see appearance instead of views. Let me clear the board so we can go through this. Okay. Over here, we have the menu behavior and we have the flyout or the docked. Okay. The flyout requires that you would always have to click on that burger icon or this chevron, and then it will give you the docked version. I prefer the dock because then I can always see my favorite resources that I need access to. You can do the flyouts when you need a wider pane of view to work. Okay. You can, of course, from here change the theme to a geeky theme, and if you have to work on high contrast, you can go ahead and do white or black. Then you can select whether you want to go to home or the dashboard. Okay, so all these are available to you. Okay, over here. All right, so let's head over to how you do the flyout. At the moment, I've set it to docked. So when I clear the screen, and now go over here, you would see that we have the chevron here. It helps them to hide stuff. It helps them to open it. So flyout could be an option you go for. Now you can see you have your home. You can see you have your dashboard. This dashboard we'll talk about later, but it gets you to design a dashboard that helps you monitor where things are when you need them. Okay, so the Azure Home, okay, is the first thing you see the moment you sign in to your portal. It compiles resources that helps you get the most out of your Azure subscription. Okay. Um, Earlier on, when I did a quick start, you could see that there were some resources here to help you to do like learn more about Azure and the portal and the platform. I think there is one here called the Quick Start Center. And when I go to project and guides, you can see all these amazing documentation guides to help you and I to understand the platform that we're working on and how to go ahead and build. Okay, your dashboards, like I said earlier, provides a focus view. So when I go to the dashboard, it gives me a focus view. I can come here and edit my dashboard and I can add many things. Let's say I want to see user groups and I can, you see this as my user accounts on here. I can preview that. Let's preview that. And that shows me all the users. That's my name there and everything else there. Okay. All right. So let's get around the portal. It is very important and helpful for you and I to understand the basic portal layout and how to interact with it. Let's introduce the components of the user interface and some of the terminology that we use to give instructions. So let me head back to home and I can also press or click here, Microsoft Azure. I didn't save that. So the Azure Portal menu and page header are global elements that are always present. This is the Azure Portal menu page header. So this is the header, of course, and it has global elements that are always present. You would always see this on every Azure Portal. That will be your user and your subscription. Okay. And of course, on the left hand side here, it will gloriously say Microsoft Azure. Normally it's blue. You can change the colors to what has been prescribed in the settings instead of use when you get to it. The shell, you can see here, the shell here is where you can run your PowerShell and your CLI as your CLI. Okay, I can click into it, but that will be for another time. Okay, the header provides access to every global control that you need. The configuration page is also sometimes referred to as the blade. Every resource has a blade. Okay, it helps you to move in between features. Okay, so let's go over a couple of things. So we talked about this pane. We talked about your header menu, and this is your menu and this left pane, which is in the docked mode or the flyout mode. Okay. All right. Now let's look at a resource that's there already. Hopefully there is a resource group. There is one. I haven't created any one myself. But then in this resource group, you will see that it creates a pane. Now let's sketch it out. This demarcation here, all this here, it's your blade, yeah? So that opens a blade, okay? And once the blade is open, you can open further blades. How do I do that? When I go to activity log, it opens a further blade and I'll give you the demarcation for it. So that is the blade itself. Let's go to, for example, Resource Visualizer. It opens its blade. Let's go to things like alerts if there is anything, and I don't think there is. Let's go to activity log. These are blades, okay? So to close the blade, I've opened this blade, okay? I can click on this cross here. Let's go ahead and circle that out for you. This is how you close a blade. Close the blade. closed everything actually. This is the overview. Let me be on Unveiling blade. Let's go to access blade, and then I can close the access blade. Wow. Let's go one more time. Okay, let me see if I can do the chevron. Okay, open it again. Let's go to Resource Visualizer. That's interesting. But normally when you click this, it will close this blade, and then you get back to your pane here, and you can click away again. So let me just open more things. Let's go to metrics. Okay. All right. Now let's close this and see what we get. Because I don't see anywhere else to close. So close that. Yes, that's what I'm trying to achieve. So you open many blades, you can close them one after another. Let's get the policies. Okay, that takes me completely away from where I need to be, because that's actually a real feature here. Okay, so you can navigate from left to right. Go into resource groups, select your resource. So 1, 2, you can go to overview. That tells you something about that resource you've opened. You can go to other menus or other blades that shows things about this particular resource. For example, we talked about the resource visualizer. We can look at its properties. In fact, that's actually a good thing to do. Let's do that. Click on properties, and it tells you a lot about the resource. So this name, its location, location ID, the resource ID, your subscription, and a subscription ID. Okay. Then of course you can close all of it like that. Then you're back to the resource again. If you open many blades, you can close a blade one after another. Okay. All right. So remember, we do have the page header. Every page has a header. We have the global search, which is that one over here. Let me clear the screen. That's your global search. So that's what we call your global search. Global search. Okay. You've got a global controls, which is present at all times. You've got your own account. Okay. You've got the Azure menu portal. You got your resource menu. So you got all your resources here. Okay. You can create a resource as well. Okay. All right. And this is how it works. Your working pane is actually the details about your resource. So this is your working pane. Okay. So you work on this resource using these features here. Okay. All right. So that is how your Azure portal works. So on the next one, we would work on creating things like services. In fact, perhaps let me add that on here. Let's clear the screen. When I go into all services, I am presented a number of platforms or services on Azure. So Azure has a lot of features. There's so many things here Microsoft has created for the benefit of your data center. As you build your infrastructure, you can use any of these advanced services. Let's say I wanted to put a service as a favorite over here. I do have virtual machines here. Let me think of something I don't have. Let's say I want to put speech services. I hover over speech services, then I click on the star. Then that brings speech services here. So now you can see speech services appeared here. So you hover. Let's hover on Azure Machine Learning. You click on the star. I lost it again. Machine Learning, click on the star. That brings it over here. Okay. So that's how you do it. You can populate your favorites bar. This is the favorites. It starts from here all the way down. Okay. The quickest way to look for anything on your Azure portal is to use a global search. So when I click on home or click on Microsoft Azure, I can go to global search and type the resource group. So if I do shell, because I saw a cloud shell earlier, don't know the name they called it, but there you go. Cloud shell storage West Europe. It tells me that this is actually what I'm looking for. The only one found is actually a resource group. Okay. If anything else is found anywhere else, it'll tell you. For example, in documentation, we have Azure Cloud Shell. Because I use the word shell, it will bring anywhere there's a shell. PowerShell. So it's very powerful. It searches Azure itself, your platform, Azure services, all the resource groups, marketplace. Okay, you see shell there. You see shell there. Then it searches the documentation as well. Okay, so it's extremely powerful. So hope this tutorial has been helpful to you, and I'd like to thank you one more time. Remember that your Azure portal is located at portal.azure.com. Your Azure portal menu, you have your header. So let's pay attention to this. Portal menu, you got a chevron to give you the duct mode or the flyout mode. You've got your resources types that you can get to. You can click in through this way or that way, or you can search in the global what search. Global controls will always be there for you. Your account will always be shown over here. Your resource group, sorry, your subscription will always be here as well. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'd like to thank you for viewing, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, it's goodbye and keep learning.